Cooper caught it somehow.
Cowboys OT is brought to you by Geico. 85 years of savings and service. Sleep Number, the Sleep Number 360 smart bed, helps everyone from parents to pros improve their performance through quality sleep. Only at a Sleep Number store. And NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.
It was a lot closer than it looked early on, but the Dallas Cowboys do get win number 9 of the 2021 campaign, 27-20, the final score on the road at FedEx Field in our nation's capital over the Washington football team. Now the Cowboys have a 3-game lead in the division and just 4 weeks left to play. Welcome into Cowboys OT from the Star in Frisco alongside Isaiah Stanback, Nate Newton, Barry Church. I'm Kyle Yeomans, glad to be with you. Following what was an ugly second half win for the Cowboys, but their first half leading at the break 24-0, just enough to have the Cowboys come out on top in a crucial NFC East bout. And Isaiah, it was really a lot closer than Cowboys fans would have liked it to be late, but they got the job done.
Got the job done. That's the moral of the story, but it wasn't pretty. And this Dallas Cowboys team has an opportunity now to go back and watch the film and identify the pros and the cons. Defensively, they should be riding high. They should be as confident as ever. They got Randy Gregory, D-Law, Parsons, Gallimore. All these guys showed up and made amazing plays. But on the other side of things, okay, offensively, we still didn't have a good run game. We still didn't have an effective, consistent passing game. Dak doesn't look like Dak. We have some things to shore up. But guess what? We have another opportunity next week.
You know, when you go on the road, there's 3 things you have to have. You have to have great defensive play. You have to have decent special teams. And your run game have to be intact. I think our run game was efficient enough to get us there. I know our defense played outstanding. Special teams was okay. Only problem is Dak. I need you to show up, baby.
Yeah, you guys definitely covered the offensive side of things. Defensively, I'm still riding high with this team right now. Defensively, I mean, that defensive line showed up and showed out. The big 3 did their thing out there. The secondary as well. And like you said earlier, Nate, with the ability to just rush 4 and get after the quarterback, I mean, that leaves your whole linebacker core, your whole secondary out there to lock down on the back end, which they did. Diggs did an amazing job shadowing McLaurin out there for the most part of the game. It was a great defensive victory overall.
Cowboys just allowed 224 total yards from Washington, but let's see how this unfolded from the get-go. The Cowboys looking to avenge a sweep at the hand of Washington. Last year, they had a field goal on their opening drive. The second drive doesn't go to plan. Landon Collins is there for the interception as Dak overthrows his target. Short field for the Washington offense. No fear. Randy Gregory is here. Batted ball and an interception, his first pick of his career. And what does the Cowboys offense do? 8 plays later, they take advantage right over the middle to Amari Cooper.
Yeah, this is one of the 22 completions by Dak Prescott. Amari Cooper does a great job. He's getting right over the middle of the field, sets it up over the linebacker. Holcomb, don't know what you're doing, but we'll take that.
Got to find the window. 6th touchdown for Amari Cooper this season. Dallas also went for 2 right after this because of a penalty. Got it to go up 11-0. Now Washington in dire needs of a first quarter drive. What about Micah Parsons, though? Over the top. Not just the sack, but the strip as well. It's picked up by Dorrance Armstrong, and he's all alone, accompanied for a party in the end zone, all the way down. And Micah Parsons, what can you say?
I mean, from day one, from training camp, this guy's been a straight dog. He shows the motor, runs through the guard, runs through Heineke as well, pops the ball out, and you see him. Dorrance Armstrong right there with the scoop and score. And you love the swag a little bit. He took a little bit of swag into the end zone with it as well. You love when big men score out there. Parsons, he's been playing a heck of a year.
And if you came to this show to watch Micah Parsons highlights, you came to the right place, because just a couple plays later, a big sack on 3rd down. Dallas led 18-0 after the first quarter. They did tack on a couple of extra field goals in the second. That was about it prior to halftime, but going into the break up 24-0. Now, how about this throw from Taylor Heineke, having to roll out to his left all the way downfield for Sims. This was initially called an incompletion, Isaiah, but he got his knee down. Just a phenomenal play for the touchdown.
An amazing play. Look at this, going up and having a contested opportunity to go after the ball. It could have been a 50-50 ball, but Sims wanted to make sure it was his. He got the foot down and the elbow. They reviewed it, got a score.
No doubt about it, and they also went for 2 as well to try and make it a 2-possession game. Heineke rolling out, diving for the pylon, and he got it much like he did in the divisional round last year. Now, later in the half. How about a throw to Gibson? This one poked out from Jordan Lewis. Another good play from the defense. That at the time was the third takeaway for the Cowboys defense, and it set up this 29-yard Greg Zuerlein field goal to put the Cowboys up 27-8. All is said and done there, right? With just 90 seconds left in the third, not so much. Dak Prescott rolling out after Washington scored a touchdown. They're going to score another one here right over the middle. It's picked off by Holcomb, and he takes it in for the pick six, making it just a one-possession game. Luckily for the Cowboys, the PAT block stays at 7 points. They give the football right back after a 3-and-out, so 3:16 left and plenty of time. You need one of your key players to step up, and who does it? How about Randy Gregory in his first game back off of IR, forces the strip sack and gets it back for the Dallas Cowboys. This was enough to seal it, baby.
Oh, this was a huge play by Randy Gregory coming off the edge. You love the high motor, fought all the way to the end. Not so sure if it was a fumble or not, but the refs called it a fumble. You love to see it for the good guys.
Held off a late charge from Washington to hold on 27-20. The final score. We've got plenty more reaction to come with more Cowboys OT. The Cowboys do put up over 323 yards, but it wasn't the best day. What went wrong offensively? What went right for the defense? When we come back right after this from the Star in Frisco.
This segment is brought to you by Ashley Home Store, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Welcome back to Cowboys OT. The Cowboys get their first win over the Washington football team since 2019. Back with Barry Church and Nate Newton. Let's talk about the defense first, because that was the biggest positive taken out of this game. We mentioned it in the first segment, 224 yards, 4 total takeaways, 5 sacks. Nate, the defense really got after it again today.
Just a great day, Once again, having guys come back, like Gallimore, Gregory, and be an impact, man. That just shows that Coach Quinn has got guys playing at a high level, man. Now we can take the guys that have been playing recently and put them in their regular roles so they can rotate through and keep these horses fresh, man. D-Law, where they come today.
Yeah, I was extremely impressed with this defense. I wasn't quite sure what I was going to see from the big three, Gregory, Parsons, and D-Law, but they all came to show out. And I was extremely impressed with Diggs out there, because he had the job of shadowing Washington's best receiver, and that's scary, Terry McLaurin. 3 targets, 0 receptions. The guy was all over the place defensively. They stood out today, man.
I think the biggest thing that's exciting for Cowboys fans is the fact that this is the first time you've really seen your defense at full strength. So how much of an excitement and how much of a possibility do you have on that side of the football now that you've kind of gotten a glimpse of what it could look like?
I'm telling you, the sky's the limit for this defense right now, because there's so many things you can do with Parsons out there. You can have him rush up the middle. You can have him rush on the outside. We've seen him in coverage today. I mean, the guy is a defensive weapon, positionless weapon out there, and Dan Quinn knows exactly how to use him. This is the mad scientist, and this defense is showing out.
I've said it all year, and I've said it for years and years and years. We needed a guy that can just eat up blocks so these linebackers can run, and that's what Gallimore did today, along with Basham and the other guys. When you have interior guys that's eating up blocks, your linebackers can do what they want. And everybody's talking about this weapon called Parsons, man. I mean, I wish we could freeze dry him, man. Hold on to him for 30 years. You know what I'm saying?
He was phenomenal. As we take a look at some of the defensive stats from today's ball game, you look at the tackles, the sacks, the quarterback hits. They were in the backfield almost all day long. But you look for the other side, and the offense wasn't nearly as clean. Now, the yardage is going to look okay. They had over 100 yards rushing, 200 yards passing, but things just didn't look in sync for this offense for really what has been a trend as of late.
They opened up the game, man, and couldn't get nothing going. They got 3 points there within the first 2 possessions, man. But you would have expected more, because Washington had a few COVID hits. So you was expecting more. We just didn't make it happen. We needed for Dak to be a little bit more consistent.
What do you need to see out of Dak for him to be more consistent?
Just get back his accuracy. His accuracy was off, man. It's like we didn't know who he was throwing to today, so it looked out of place.
Yeah, his accuracy definitely off a little bit. You see a couple air throws right there. Even if Landon Collins wasn't there, the ball was extremely overthrown. But I think it also has a lot to do with this run game. I mean, with Ezekiel Elliott banged up, Tony Pollard out with a foot injury, there was just a non-existent run game. In the past couple weeks, it's been non-existent, and we've seen this offense just stagnant, just really stagnant. So I feel like if we can get back to that balanced approach, the productivity for the offense should tick up.
The numbers for Ezekiel Elliott, 12 carries, 45 yards, a long of 7. So no big chunk yardage plays from Zeke today. His longest play was his one reception on 6 targets, might I add, for 15 yards. So not the same sort of firepower that you're used to seeing, and it hasn't been that way since prior to the calf injury. So do you expect this to at some point come back together and click for the offense?
It has to. We knew going in the game with Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne in the middle, it wasn't going to be a serious run game. And this is where we have to be able to understand where Dak has to put the team not on his back. The defense did their part. Just put the offense in a better position. He made some errant throws that cost us today and made this game closer than what it should have been. Love him to death. I hate to talk about quarterbacks. I know, that was a no-no when I played. But you know what? I'm on the other side of the ship now. Dak has to get better.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And now that you've seen the film, and of course that big one to Holcomb there, now let's take a look at the numbers, because offensively, the numbers don't look terrible. I mean, 7 of 18 on third down, that's much better than the 2 of 13 that they were a week ago against the Saints. But there are a couple turnovers. You still have the time of possession. You did everything you needed up until the fourth quarter to really put this game away. And I think that's going to be what sticks in the mind of Cowboys fans as we continue on here this season. And as we continue on here on Cowboys OT, when we come back, we go deep into the film room. Isaiah Stanback breaks down a couple of the key plays in the Cowboys' 27-20 win over Washington.
This segment was brought to you by Ashley Home Store, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Welcome back to Cowboys OT after the Cowboys get a 27-20 win over the Washington football team. Alongside Isaiah Stanback, I'm Kyle Yeomans. It's not every day that you get to join a Super Bowl champion in the film room after a big Cowboys win. Well, now you get an opportunity to do that. Let's take a look at a couple of the key plays for the Cowboys in this win, and it starts off on the negative side for Dak Prescott.
Yeah, we're going to get the bad and the ugly out the way right now, because there's a whole lot of pros that we need to get to as well. But Dak has not been the same for whatever reason. Ever since that calf strain, his reads have been off. His decision-making has been off. His efficiency, his delivery, his mechanics. A lot of things have been off about Dak, and he needs to figure out how to get these things back on track. But here's a perfect example here as we're lining up. And here's a single high safety. You guys see it right here. Single high safety. You have 3 guys out here out to the right side. You have CD with off coverage. You have off coverage over Schultz as well. And then we have Gallup, I believe, over on the outside. Now, as soon as you come up here, understanding what this concept is, you have a big in route over here, about 12, 14 yards. You have a double under concept here. All right, on the backside here, you have a curl route. All right, now when you have him come out here with the single high safety, his number 1 read needs to be to the left side. One-on-one coverage, it doesn't matter if it's cover 1 or cover 3. That's where your eyes go. So you guys see Dak drop back, try to keep this the safety center. He checks over here. His man is not coming out the break on point. Perfect. Okay, so you come off that read. Now you come back to number 2. When he comes back to number 2, he should be looking inside out, okay? With this safety back here, so he should not be coming to CD. He's looking for CD to come out this back shoot back here, but if you're going to throw that ball needs to be driven right here. He decides to throw the ball right over to the top, and when he decides to do that, that ball is not on point. You guys will see it right here. It's going to go straight to Collins. The ball's overthrown, bad decision, late with his decision, and it results in a Cowboys turnover.
It's ultimately a bad throw. It was an overthrow from Dak Prescott, but it was a bad read to get there, which is kind of what doomed him from the get-go. Now, on the defensive side of the football, we've already mentioned some of the positives there. Let's start things off with Randy Gregory. I mean, first game back from the IR, what did he do so well in this one?
Randy Gregory did a great job, and it's not just him. They're playing great collective defense, especially today with all the guys back. Here they have 5 offensive linemen up here, and they have 5 defensive guys. 3, 4, boom. We have a bunch of guys up here, and it should be man-to-man, okay? Man, mano-a-mano, and every man has to win their assignment. You guys will see right here, this offensive tackle's job is to take out the legs of Gregory. Literally, he's going to set, and he's going to shoot at his knees and try to get his hands down because the ball's coming out quick. We can play this through real quick. You guys will see this tackle try his best to try to take his knees out. But look at the discipline of Gregory. Even as a man's trying to take his knees out, he keeps his eyes on the prize. He pushes the man down, okay, throws him to the ground, gets his hands up. I was taught by some guy named Randy Moss. If I can get my hands up, if I can stop the ball, I can catch the ball. And that's exactly what Randy Gregory does right here. He gets off that right there, gets his hands in the air, pops it up in the air long enough for him to see the ball. Boom, everybody's roaming to the ball. Now let's get on our giddy-up horse, and everybody rush, try to get this touchdown. Obviously don't get it, but they do get the turnover. Yeah, they're doing an amazing job of being athletic, winning their assignments, and creating turnovers.
Speaking of athletic, what better person to talk about an athlete than Micah Parsons? This guy is just a pure football player and a pure difference maker on defense.
Here's another example of 5 guys on 5. Every man is winning their assignment. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 with Parsons, okay, versus 5 offensive linemen. Parsons' job here is to rush in this gap and take on this offensive guard right here. You got a 310, 315-pound man versus 240-pound man. Who wants to win this thing more? And I think our guy does, okay? So here is Parsons right here lined up in the gap. You see his eyes on the prize. He's trying to come after Heineke here. He's going and he's going to dip and rip. Snap the ball. And you see that he's going to choose one side of the offensive lineman. He chose the right side. Now he's going to dip and he's going to rip through and he's going to win that assignment simply with leverage and power, pushes all the way through, gets on the man right here. He sees that ball, rip that ball out, ball's on the ground. Now guess what? It's time to scoop and score, fellas. Scoop and score. Now everybody else, let's join the party. Armstrong with the scoop and score. Everybody's rolling. Touchdown, Cowboys. These are the plays that are going to be the deciding factors as you go through the end of the season. Every man winning their assignments, and Parsons continuing to be a dog. 12 sacks this year now as of today. This man is an absolute problem in this league. Defensive Player of the Year? I think so.
He's on his way at the moment, and you could see just how quickly he got off the snap there. I mean, he was almost in the gap before Taylor Heineke even had the football. So that athleticism that certainly pays off for Mike McCarthy and company. Speaking of the head coach, we hear from him when we come back here on Cowboys OT. Welcome back to Cowboys OT here from the Star in Frisco. Kyle Yeoman's back with you. Now let's go back out to FedEx Field, and here's some of the post-game reaction from the Cowboys' 27-20 win over the Washington football team, starting with head coach Mike McCarthy.
All right, David.
Mike, you challenged this team privately and also in your comments to the media this week. How do you feel it responded today with this stretch?
I think just like anything, we come out of this bye weekend and really the focus, from my perspective, is obviously win the game, these division games, this December football. But we need to improve in some areas, and I think we did that. But obviously, we have work to do, and I think it's just a kind of a product of, everything that all teams go through. You look what Washington's going through with the challenges and the COVID and those types of stuff. So I was obviously very pleased to come in here and get this division win. But I think more importantly, just to get the defensive guys, back, and I thought we had a really good rotation. The energy and the takeaways, really set the tempo. I thought the first half was played very well. So, we had the giveaways, and they made the big plays in the second half to get back into it. And but at the end of the day, I think this is a clear reflection of what division games are usually like. So, you take a lot of confidence. There's a lot of great experience and things that we'll continue to improve on and learn from this contest today.
What was the problem with the offense in the passing game?
Excuse me?
What was the problem with the offense in the passing game? Inability to get some consistency.
Well, I think you got to look at the whole picture. I think if you look at the way that you got to give them some credit. I thought Jack kept a lid on it and kept things in front, so we weren't going to get behind them much today. You could see that early. So and that's part of the things we need to work on. We got to get the the controlled passing game going, a little more efficient, and it'll be obviously a focus for us.
Talk about the play, Gregory today, just what he did, him and Parsons both, just with the pressure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Randy, set the tempo there with the first takeaway, and just a phenomenal athletic play, and and Mike was just like he is every week, all over the place, making impact, off the edge, the pressure. Really putting the pressure on the quarterback, and not only do we have the four takeaways, but we got our hands on a lot of balls today too. So I think just like anything, the takeaways are what you're after, but it's the takeaway opportunities were way up today, and we need to continue to work on that because that's part of our identity.
Mike, what happened on the sideline when Lyle got ejected, and can you talk about the balance between wanting your guys to play discipline versus last year when you said your offensive line here needed to be a little more protective?
Well, it's I think LC did exactly what you're supposed to do there. We all understand that the challenges of officiating, but whatever you thought of the play all the way around, but this is a game, obviously very competitive, and I think the fact that that's your quarterback or whoever. So I just think you know these games are going to be chippy. They're division games, and it's, you know, you just want to see guys. I thought not only once that, you know, it got going, I thought that everybody, both sides, did a good job of just kind of locking everything up and moving on. So, you know, it happens in these type of games.
So you can hear Mike McCarthy talking about some of those emotions running high in a game like this, a very high caliber divisional matchup that is crucial in standings for both teams. And I mean, Nate, you've been a part of these. Isaiah, you've been a part of these rivalries before. Where does this one rank in terms of just the importance of this game and how the teams kind of backed each other in it?
They needed this game tremendously. It's an NFC East opponent. Washington was on a 4-game win streak. We needed to knock them off their high horse. We needed to get a little bit more consistently from last week on our offense. We didn't do that, but with the guys coming back, you know, on defense, they played well. And like I say, I don't know if it was complimentary football because it looked like the defense did all the work, but our offense did just enough to keep them off.
Yeah, I wouldn't use the word compliment either. However, you know, the defense took care of business today, and sometimes that's how relationships go. You know, somebody has to carry somebody like 70% of the time, and the other group 30. And the defense did enough in terms of the emotions and how important this game is. This is the NFC East. Every game's dang near a rivalry. I was just happy to see guys backing their quarterbacks up this year versus what we saw last year with Andy Dalton.
That's a huge change, and it happened at FedEx Field on that same gridiron where Andy Dalton took a shot last year. This year, Dak Prescott takes a shot to the sideline, and everyone responds. How big is that to see that from your brothers in a locker room?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, if your brother gets hit and takes a late hit or whatever it may appear to be a late hit, you protect them. You take care of business. And last year, that was a question mark around this team. Do they have the character and the heart to actually hold each other up and beat each other's keeper?
You know what? In today's NFL, man, we get all these tap shots and all this, you know, all this stuff that don't add up. But yeah, when your quarterback has something like that happen, your man, yeah, you come to the rescue, and it don't matter what the penalty is afterward. You let everybody know that he's off limits.
And that's exactly what the Cowboys did. Prescott gets hit to the sideline, and really everyone on that sideline responded. Zeke, Lyle Collins, of course, with the penalty as well. But when we come back, we hear from Micah Parsons. 2 sacks and another forced fumble for the rookie as he continues his historic rookie campaign. 2 sacks for the rookie Micah Parsons has him now up to 12 on the season, but 9.5 over the last 6 games of the 2021 campaign. That ties the record in the NFL for the most sacks out of any player in a 6-game span as a rookie, tying Leslie O'Neal back in 1986. Let's hear from the rookie right after the 7-point win.
Micah, can you talk about the significance of this victory, opening up a 3-game lead in the division with 4 left?
Yeah, I mean, I think every division game is important. I mean, it's important that we go one at a time, considering we got so many division games left to finish the year out. So this was a big one, and we got a big one next week to complete to go 2-0. So we got to start focusing on that.
Micah, we asked you so many questions about the Marcus and Randy Neville coming back, but how did it actually feel out there? Do you feel a difference in the way that teams are playing for you when you've got that much help?
Yeah, I mean, now when we go 5, you know, when you see all 5 of us down, they're going 5-0. I mean, everybody got opportunity when they're 1-on-1. I mean, I think you guys saw the significance they made when they came back. I mean, Randy and D-Law both came in with a sack and Randy with the pick. So, I mean, just having them back and them getting back in the swing of things, getting ready for this big run we're trying to do, is just only going to go up from here.
It seems like so many of your sacks, big plays, come on in big moments, 3rd down, 4th down. Is there anything you can pinpoint to that? Or?
Yeah, you know, 1st and 2nd down, I think those times where you might get a mix of run and pass, but 3rd and 4th down is when you hunt. And I think those is the money downs that go, you got opportunity where they might hold the ball a little bit longer and you can get to that quarterback. So those you should look forward to 3rd and 4th down.
Did you see another running back in pass protection after your 2nd sack?
No, I didn't. I mean, I love that anytime, any day of the week. 365 a year, baby.
You saw Trayvon have the interception game streak earlier this year, and now you have a 6-game streak without a sack. You just kind of feel like the next level that you're at.
It feels good to just get home, and the coaches dialing up my number more belief that I'm going to get home, things like that. But, I mean, I think it's just going off of just we feeding off each other. I mean, I think Trey's doing more than I'm knowing, not even watching. You know, he got quarterbacks holding the ball now, and so it gives me opportunity to get to the quarterback more. So you know, it just always complement each other more than you know.
How did your pass rush opportunities today compare to what your expectations were given the other night?
You know, I think I still had the same amount of reps out there. I mean, I don't think they took anything back from me. I think they still want to keep me going, still keep me alive, but also at the same time still keep me fresh. You know, we still got a lot of games left, and you know, I think a lot of the coaches looking forward to the bigger picture more than just right now, though.
What kind of tone did Randy pick set for you guys?
I think it set the tone early in the game, big play. You know, I think we was able to get inside the quarterback's head a little bit. You know, it's kind of confusing when you see so many elite guys down there. So I think that's kind of the advantage. They thought they could get out quick, and Randy's length being back out on that edge was able to tip it to himself and make a huge play for us. So, I mean, he set the tone for the whole game.
You go back and look at that play.
So Micah talking about having all of these defensive players back in the mix and, of course, looking for an offense on the other side of the line of scrimmage. It is tough to pick up, but it's tough with even just number 11 by himself. I mean, he's having a phenomenal rookie season.
I mean, this guy is a complete dog out there. No matter where you line him up, he can affect the game. If you line him up at the defensive line, he's affecting the quarterback. He's pressuring the quarterback. He might even get a sack. You put him at the linebacker position, he's covering wide receivers and running with them down the field. I mean, this guy is a complete player out there. And like Isaiah said earlier in his breakdown, Defensive Rookie of the Year, that's a given. Go ahead and put that in his case. He's making a serious contention for Defensive Player of the Year.
Wow.
You know, DeMarcus Lawrence, Randy Gregory. Now this guy can be used the way he's supposed to be used, all over the field. You never know how he's going to line up. Now when you usually hear 5 wides, defenses usually get scared. But when you hear these 4 or 5 guys lining up, getting single block, who you going to stop? And 9 times out of 10, it's a race to the quarterback.
There's been a question floating around Cowboys Nation for quite some time is Micah Parsons is the best Cowboys player since blank. Well, that list is starting to grow shorter and shorter. Became the first Cowboys rookie in history to have 3 multi-sack games as he did that again today. 2 sacks against the Washington football team. When we come back, though, we turn our attention back to the offensive side of the football. What went wrong for Dak Prescott, and how can the Cowboys offense come together in the final month of the season when we come back on Cowboys OT? Entering the Week 14 matchup with the Washington football team, Dak Prescott had 16 touchdowns and just 1 interception against Washington. His team got the win. That's the biggest thing, but he didn't have the same type of game. 1 touchdown, 2 blatant interceptions, and we'll hear from Dak in his own words of what happened against the football team.
You just talk about how you played as a team to open up the game tonight, and then it got maybe a little tenser at the end, and then you projected.
Yeah, I mean, good team win. Obviously, we've got to do a better job of finishing on offense, but credit to our defense. 2 turnovers that I had, they got the ball right back, and that's what all I can ask for. That's all you can ask for is an offense. But as you said, got going pretty early, got a good lead, but then we've got to be able to finish it off and not let them back in the game. Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating. We got high standards and high expectations for ourselves. So when you're not moving the ball and you're not scoring points, you're only scoring 6 points in the second half. Yeah, it's not acceptable. We've got to be better than that in the latter part of the year. Obviously, as you get ready to go play better teams, play division teams, and play in the playoffs.
You talked to us about getting that connection back with your receivers after Elliott missed some time. Where is it today relative to where you want it to be?
I mean, I've got to go back and look at it. Tough to just say it raw without watching the tape, but we can always be better. Every throw, every rep, every play is is a process, and it's experience. It's something that we can get better, regardless if it's completed, regardless if we feel good about the way that it happened. We can be better.
What did you see on that 4th quarter interception, and how did that play break down the way it did?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I've got to take the sack. Don't put the ball in harm's way, and that's the bottom line, honestly. No excuse for that, period.
Dak, when you got shut down, what happened on that play, and what was your reaction when you see Ezekiel Elliott standing up for you like that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm rolling. I'm just trying to make a play. Felt like it was close on the call. Turned back to look at the ref and just saw a lot going on. Can't say that I saw details or know exactly what happened, but obviously respect and love the fact of my teammates standing up for me, and that's just how all of us feel about one another. That's just not them protecting me, but that's how any of us would protect any of our brothers and our teammates in that position. So, yeah, I mean, thankful for those guys, and yeah, that.
You guys got the win, but you
you can understand why people outside look and say, what's wrong with the offense? First of all, y'all won early.
Yeah.
And now it seems like they're disjointed, out of sync. It's not a smooth operation anymore.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, we've created these high expectations and high standards, and we have them for ourselves. So, I mean, just as much as the outside world isn't pleased, we're not. I guarantee we care a whole lot more than the outside world about what we're doing. I know I do. I know the guys on the field and the coaches do. So, as I said, all of this we can get better and we can learn from, and it's much better to do that in a winning setting.
How hard is it to come on the road and play a division game on the road? Like, it's either by the fans here, like the road environment.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's a division game. Any division game is tough. A team that you play twice a year. Got to suit up against this team in 2 weeks. But coming into their place, whether it's here, New York, or Philly, all of those are tough road games. As you just said, our fans did a great job of traveling, of staying into the game, of chanting, being there, supporting us. Felt good, but it feels great to get a win.
We haven't clinched anything yet, but with a lot of seasons going down to the wire as far as whether you win the division or not, opening up a 3-game lead here with 4 left, how does that leave you guys, and how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're putting ourselves in good position, but we just want to continue to get better, game in and game out, heading into this playoff race to make sure that we're playing our best ball when we need to. And as I said, it was a struggle on offense, and we weren't exactly executing the way that we want to, especially late in the game. But it's better, as I said, in a winning effort. And some of the things are just simple decision-making by me, and I'll clean those up. So, yeah, as long as we're heading on the winning track and heading into the tournament, we'll get it right.
Have you talked to L since the injection, and do you say anything to him directly just about the way he responded?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I just told him appreciate it. Told him right there at the moment as they're taking him out of the game. Told him how I felt about him as a brother and as a teammate, and then just reiterated that in the locker room.
In the past, Dak, when things haven't been clicking exactly in the passing game, what's been your process? What's been your mode of trying to find those answers?
One more time?
In the past, when things haven't felt maybe the best in the passing game, things aren't clicking, what's usually your process to try and find that?
Yeah, I mean, just getting on the same page with your receivers, communicating. Obviously, the film study and all that comes into play, but just making sure that we're expecting the same thing when they go out for a route, or that they see the certain defense, that we're on the same page to be able to just to react and play the game at a high level and play the game fast.
You're not going to hear any excuses from Dak Prescott. You didn't hear any there. That's the kind of person, that's the kind of leader that he is. But he knows just as much so as the film will show that the Cowboys offense is not firing on all cylinders at the moment. I mean, 22 of 39 passing, 211 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions. I mean, what went wrong for Dak Prescott, and what has been snowballing over the last 5 weeks, 6 weeks now?
I think that's the real question. I think what we saw today was just more of the same, unfortunately, and that has been inconsistent play. His mechanics not being on point, his decision making not being on point, how accurate his passes are or lack thereof. All that was kind of just like you said, a snowball effect as to what has now taken place today. And we saw those same things carry over, and that's something that he has to address. You guys heard from Dak. That's one thing about him. He's going to own up to it. He's going to identify it. He's going to watch the film. But these are issues that he needs to correct because they are going to affect this team's ability to win ball games.
22 of 39, that's not Dak. With 4 minutes and 13 seconds left in the fourth quarter, Dak don't throw those interceptions. Something is wrong. I mean, mentally, physically, are both. And they have to get together, Kellum and him and the quarterback coach have to get together, see what is wrong, start getting the ball out a little bit quicker, giving him a better chance to find a rhythm, because you can't do this as the season builds and you start playing for a slot, that top floor slots, you don't need to have a loss.
And if it were just one game, a one-off where Dak Prescott doesn't play well, that's fine. But
yes,
this has been 6 weeks now where you've seen flashes of Dak Prescott making really nice throws to the sideline, allowing your receivers to make a play, but you're also seeing constant bad decisions and overthrows at different points in the ballgame as well. The Cowboys have won 2 straight, but not very pretty. Same score against the New Orleans Saints and then also with the Washington football team this week. When we come back, we hear from the hero, Randy Gregory himself. He had a couple big plays in the Cowboys win over Washington. Who knew that Randy Gregory was going to come back and make a huge impact the way that he has on a couple different levels at the line of scrimmage, batting down passes, making an interception for the first time in his career, then also a strip sack on the final drive of the ball game to seal a 27-20 win over the Washington football team. Let's go back out to FedEx Field and hear from Randy Gregory himself.
right. I said this to Neville. I'll say this to you. Welcome back.
Thank you.
How did it feel to get out there and make a few plays out there, especially the ones at the end?
It felt good. The most important thing is getting the win. Got out the game healthy. Make some plays. So it was a good way to come back. Just a few things I got to fix as far as my pass rush plan, things like that, and get right back at it next week.
What did you see at the end on the last play, the sack, the fumble? Could you get a good view of it? And what did you think he was down? Or
I honestly didn't see that he threw it until like the very, very last second. I thought I had sacked him, but at the same time I thought he threw the ball away. His knee was probably down by then. Thankfully it was. So big play for us. We just need to close out games earlier than that.
I'm going to try you out at receiver now or tight end or anything? What?
No, you saw how fast I was on the interception, so they're still giving me a little bit of shit about that. But like I said, main thing is make the play.
Go talk us through that play because there's a lot happening there. You're getting blocked. You got to get over the block, then get up and tip it, and then find it again and catch it. I thought it was an amazing play. Was it one of your better plays you've ever?
Definitely. I mean, I think it just shows my my instincts and a little bit of athleticism. It's funny. We worked on cut blocks a couple weeks ago with Dan Quinn was out there with a helmet on in practice, and that's the drill right there. Get the cut block down, get your hands up. Thankfully, I was able to get in the lane and get my left hand and block it. And at that point, I was just trying to figure out which way was the right way to go because I was looking up and wasn't really sure which way was the right end zone, and was just trying not to get hawked from behind or from the ball.
So first game this year with yourself and Neville and Tank and Parsons all together. I think everyone got a sack. Dorrance got a touchdown. I mean, this is kind of what the blueprint is for this defense.
We expect to do a lot of great things. It's really about our preparation and going out there and executing. I think when guys really have their laser focus, as far as the game plan and things like that, we really go out there and ball out. And guys are going to make plays. We got a lot of guys that can rush the pass. We got a lot of guys that can play the run. A lot of guys that really want to go out there and make a play and be that guy to make that play. So just got to give guys the opportunity to do that.
One more. Your coach came out this week and said he expects you to win the game. What was your take about that? And obviously you agreed. Do you like it when your head coach is not afraid to say that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we preach all week about supreme confidence, and Rob Davis, he talks about all the time, and so to have that level of confidence from our head coach, obviously it's going to trickle down to the rest of the guys, and they wanted us and they got us. We showed up, we played, we got the win. Got to come back and beat them again this next game.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Thank you, Randy.
Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Huge game from Randy Gregory, Cowboys defense, and Dan Quinn. Very happy to have him back in the fold, back here with Barry Church and Isaiah Stanback. But, guys, he wasn't alone. So that leads me to this question. Is the identity, at least through the second half of the season for this Cowboys team, now a defensive, opportunistic side of the football as opposed to a high-flying offense?
Well, you know where I'm going to go with this. You know where I'm going to go with this.
As a former
defender, I'm saying without a doubt this defense is carrying this team right now, whether it's stopping the run, stopping the pass, creating takeaways to get the offense a short field, whatever the case may be. Randy Gregory, this big three, the secondary, they're playing outstanding football right now. And Dan Quinn, the mastermind, maybe be the best free agent pickup this whole offseason. He's got these boys flying in the right direction. The defense is playing on all cylinders right now.
I agree. I think this defense is absolutely balling out. Obviously, these guys are carrying the team like a JanSport. But as explosive as this defense is with all their weapons, this is the offense should be equally as effective. And that's where the issue lies right now with this Dallas Cowboys team. And that's the question mark that you have to have as you start talking about the effectiveness and the efficiency of this team going forward. Can they and will they play at this high caliber of competition on both sides of the ball?
You look at the last 5 games for the Cowboys: Atlanta, Kansas City, even in a loss, then the Saints and the football team. All of those were defensive-dominated games where the Cowboys defense has outplayed the Cowboys offense. Really, the only one is the Las Vegas Raiders. Big reason for the offense having some struggles is not getting the ground game going. They hit triple digits, but when we come back, we hear from Ezekiel Elliott on his side of things.
Cowboys OT was brought to you by Geico, 85 years of savings and service. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.
Final segment here of Cowboys OT following a 27-20 win over the Washington football team. Kyle Yeoman's back with you. Let's go back out to FedEx Field. Hear from Ezekiel Elliott, who only had a long run of 7 in the win.
All right, Zeke, tell us, I mean, obviously you expected a game like that, kind of a tough, even though you guys got up to a big lead. You expect it to be four-quarter battle like this?
It's a division game, so these division wins are going to be tough. We know each other so well. We play each other twice a year. So, you expect them to be close, and that's what this was.
In a game like this where you started out with your banged up a little bit, did you feel good early, or did you, as the game went on, get a little bit more sore?
I felt good. I think just the way the game went, the second half, they played Corey a little bit more, but I felt good today.
When Tony was out and you knew he wasn't going to play, did that change y'all's offense any, or did Corey just kind of step in and take over that role?
TP has a certain plays that are his plays, but I don't think we really changed much. Corey did a hell of a job. He came out there. He played very well.
Last year, a lot was said about them hitting the quarterback late and all that. I don't know if that was going through your mind, but when you see your quarterback hit on the sideline like that, you kind of jump in and Lyle. Can you speak to that of kind of what your reaction was?
Yeah, I think that's just a brotherhood. We fight for ours. We all love each other, so we see someone take a shot at our guys, we got to make sure we protect them.
How about your defense stepping up and playing the way they played today?
Man, the defense, they played their tails off. Four more takeaways?
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Coach Bones has been calling it every week. He's like, we'll get 4 takeaways, yada, yada. So, they're playing lights out. The D-line has got their ears pinned back. I feel bad for those opposing quarterbacks.
Are you worried about the offense at all? The last few games, it hasn't been what we've seen. Are y'all concerned or heading in, or you just know it's going to be different this time of year? It's going to be tough sledding.
I wouldn't say I'm concerned at all. We knew it was going to be tough. I think we do got to play a lot better. We got to play a lot better football on offense. We got to celebrate this win. We can't be mad about a win, and we'll be better next week.
Your head coach came out and said this week, he expected a win. Did you look at that as bulletin board, or more believe in that he believes that his team's going to go out and play better and win?
I think it was just more belief. Honestly, if you don't believe you're going to go into the game winning, then you already lost. So, what do you expect him to say?
Right. Awesome. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Good stuff.
So you heard it there from Ezekiel Elliott. Nate, when you looked at Zeke today, what did you see and what was your thought process around how he played?
I want to see what he can do. Early in the game, he was fresh. He was running strong, and I think they hurt that thing as the game went on, and it kind of put the other Corey Clements in. So it was a great, to me, I think they ran it efficient enough to do what they did today, and that's to win the game.
Yeah, I would say he's at probably about 65 percentile of what we expect him to be, and when he's 100% healthy. So I think that he was a little bit better than what we saw last week and the week before, but he's still a ways off. And we saw earlier in the game when he took that shot on the knee, it was obvious that it was bothering him from that point on.
And this Cowboys team will see Washington again in 2 weeks. They have the New York Giants on a normal schedule. There was 10 days off prior to this one. Now it's a normal 7-day streak. What is the biggest thing the Cowboys need to fix going into Week 15?
Get consistent with our quarterback. Find out what's going on with him. If not, get the ball out of his hand quick, and get your playmakers a chance to make plays.
Ditto. We have to figure out exactly what's going on with the QB1, but we also, in the process of that, need to figure out a consistent running game that we can rely on.
There was definitely some inconsistencies in the win, but the Cowboys get the job done on the road, 27-20 over the Washington football team today. A crucial win because now they're up by 3 games with just 4 to play. The magic number is at 2 for the Dallas Cowboys, and they can wrap up a win in the division and a divisional title as soon as that game against the Washington football team in Week 16. But that does it for us here on Cowboys OT. Hope you had some fun breaking this one down. It was a good one in Washington, but for Nate Newton, for Isaiah Stanback, Barry Church, and Nick Heatman out in Maryland, I'm Kyle Yeoman saying so long. We'll see you next week on Cowboys OT.